Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. And happy Sunday. Oh, we made it another week, right? Okay, before we sit down to catch up, I'm making some tea. And, well, I'm just found this, like, I'm super curious about something. I have no idea what this is. So I wanted to show you, and maybe you could help me figure out what this is. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Pardon me. I'm making a cup of chai from Morocco. So this tea I picked up last year while we were in Morocco. I know. I should have drank it by now, and it's, God only knows what the experience I'm about to have, but I was super excited. I still have some. So I'm making myself a cup of tea, right? But this is the thing. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. What I need you to see is it through all of this lovely collection of stuff here. Here we go. There's these little glassine little rocks, right? Some are clear, some are amber. Look at them. They're all throughout. And I just can't remember, what is this? Why is this here? What are they adding? What's it adding to the tea? It's not sugar. We tried, it doesn't really have much of a taste to be able to go by. And so at first I thought, oh, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. So I was just introduced to this in Morocco, but this is like shards of menthol essentially. And so it's really lovely to add to a cup of tea. Like I'm adding it today because as you can hear, I'm sniffly. So anyways, this is the thing. Do you know what this is? If you do, please share with me, because I'm just dying to figure out what is it and why. Okay, I'm all set. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for waiting for me. I needed to warm up with a cup of tea for our chat, because I just walked through the door. Drum roll, please. Where did I go? You remember from last week? The Grinch That Stole Christmas, the musical. Oh man, what a great day. I gotta say, it was cracking me up. So my wife went with me, which was really lovely. We're both uber theater nerds. My wife, more so, she had the pleasure of really being introduced to the theater as a young child. And she, in college, was singing on the stage and was a true and through theater nerd through school. The unfortunate thing is that unlike myself, who, as you well know, I have a passion for music, for plays, for just anything that'll feed me a story and a different experience, right? But I generally don't get to go with my wife because she's traveling so much, and we definitely make sure that we get concerts on the calendar together. But I would say the plays, the musicals, those type of things, I'm going with my friends or going by myself. So it was really fun. It was really fun today to have her be able to join me for a matinee. As you can imagine, the theater was just lit with I was gonna say, give you this rosy picture of families going to the Grinch, but when we walked in the door of the Palace Theater, it's one of those old school theaters downtown Chicago. It's one of those theaters that when you walk in, right, you're like, what is that? There's just so much to see that your mouth is open and you're literally bumping into the people in front of you all the time. At least this is my experience. Continually. I've been to the Palace Theater, I can't tell you how many times, and still today you would have found me going, oh. As we walked in off of the street, today's the first day it's snowing for the first time, right? So it's like snowy, bundle up, and we jump out of our car and get through the theater doors and into the theater, and oh my God, the chaos. What you expect. 'Cause, come on, it's the Grinch That Stole Christmas. My wife and I were laughing as we were going to the theater because we were reading reviews, and the biggest complaint in the review was that there was children at the theater. Right? like, why are you there? It's, when the doors open, this was not happy children, family, generational Disney picture. No, this was, have you ever seen the movie Bad Moms Christmas? If you haven't, by the way, stop, note it, go back to it. Bad Moms Christmas, it's so much fun. It's literally like there's a scene where they walk into the mall and they're like, it's Christmas time, and they're walking, and all of a sudden it is like children as animals everywhere, parents stressed to the T, and that really is what we walked into today. Parents were definitely at the end of a holiday week where the children had been home all day, every day. But they were so good. They just they did it really well at the end. They throw out soap suds, which make it look like it's snowing, right? And so at the end, you're super excited. You're singing, and the kids are barely able to contain themselves at this point, and neither am I. And then they make it snow in the theater. It's just so much fun. Well, hence the importance of warming up. I've got a fire going next to me, and yeah. Speaking of long holiday family vacations, how are you doing? Huh? Is it? We have talked a lot in the last couple of weeks about traditions and all the really awesome things, right? The things that we love, the good memories. But we all know that the time of family, the time of holidays, of pretty much 2 months straight of all of these different engagements is exhausting and not always fucking Disney, right? I myself am coming off of a week of having had my mother-in-law visiting with us. It's funny because at the beginning of the week, the neighborhood that we live in, we're in between two little neighborhood. They're the way that I like to describe Chicago is full of all these different neighborhoods, and each one of these neighborhoods has kind of a little downtown. So it's all these little villages inside of the city. So I'm in between two villages, right? One is called Lincoln Square, one is called Andersonville. Now Lincoln Square is well known for its families, its stroller brigade. That's just everything that it is. Andersonville is much more diverse in people. But also not heavy, definitely not heavy stroller brigade. As a matter of fact, one of our bakeries in Andersonville, who has given their props, they've been around for 20, 30 years. They were in the New York Times at one point because they put a sign on their door that said to the stroller brigade that you are more than welcome to come into our lovely bakery. We welcome you. We want you to come. But please take care of your children. We're not a daycare. It was a simple statement because they were being overrun. And the stroller brigade did not take it, as you would imagine, very kindly. And they thought they were gonna, stick it to the bakery and get everyone all excited to give them their right to let their children run around, freely. It didn't work out to their advantage. So it's that kind of neighborhood is no, actually, take care of your kids. Go to Lincoln Square, there's children running everywhere. It's just different neighborhoods, and that's okay, right? In Andersonville at the beginning of the week, we were all out trying to find things to entertain ourselves, right? Whether you go for walks, whether you go visit your friends, whether you, go window shopping, whatever. It was all adults, mostly in their 20s, 30s, 40s, managing their adult parents, right? And so all you're like walking down the street, all you're hearing is these conversations of, Mom, get out of the doorway. Mom, I know. Yeah, Mom, it's not like, sure, Mom. Like, it was just this, there was a heaviness to it. And they like, when are you leaving? And everyone's making eye contact with each other, right? Seriously, this is the beginning of my week. And by the end of it, we ended up, at the theater with the parents that are exhausted by having their kids. It was fun. I was also one of those people walking around Andersonville, making eye contact with my fellow brethren, going, we all love our parents. We do. And we're all kind humans, and we want to invite them to our family things. We sure do. But oh my God, is it over yet? And don't get me wrong, I love my mother-in-law. Vera, when you watch this, peace. But, having anyone in your house is a long time. And then there's a lot of special things that go along with having a parent in your home. Even as 50-year-old women having a parent in your home. So it was a long week of running around the neighborhood trying to find outings to entertain my mother-in-law and get some fresh air. It's funny. I was I was thinking about how fortunate I have been in this life to be able to have had, the opportunity, the access, and the experience for the theater, right? Going to today to celebrate the last day of the year with a just a very fun-filled, lovely experience. It made me think back and remember when I was a kid. Pardon me. When I was a kid, we didn't, as you know, I didn't grow up in an area that, like, books or plays or really music even. Like, I wasn't introduced to music. I have a little bit of an affinity for country music, and that's just simply because my best friend's mom listened to it, right? But like, no one in my world listened to music for pleasure, so I wasn't introduced to it that way. So music for me, growing up, became noise. It was definitely, and especially like growing up a kid of the '80s, and you're this is the horrible music of Twisted Sister and AC/DC, and it was for sound. But as you know, I have a wicked imagination, a very vibrant, beautiful, wonderful imagination that I'm so grateful for. And to have had the opportunity to not only be introduced to this world of theater, but to be able to be gluttonous in it, in my consumption over the years. So not having had that kind of relationship with the imaginary world, right? I also grew up in farm country where, like it was just very important to be real, and when you when you used your imagination, it was looked at like you were the teller of tall tales, and it was like a negative thing. Unfortunately, it really wasn't. I definitely had the nickname "you little lying bitch" as a kid, and God, it was right too, because I lived off of stories. Reality was not where I wanted to be. So we had this woman. Her name was Mrs. Herz. When my parents got divorced, I don't really remember how old I was. I know my sister was, because she's younger than I am. So, maybe she was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, and I was like 10. And my dad, we moved out of the country and we moved into town. And my dad bought a 2-flat or a 3-flat, and the first floor, the tenant, her name was Mrs. Hertz, and she was a little old retired lady. And we were that generation that were latchkey kids, right? So we were home alone all the time. And so she kept an eye on us. She kept an eye on us, and she let us visit with her. And we were very young, and for my sister, it was really special too, because she was really young. She was way too young to be left alone as much as she was. So, anyways, this woman, she read. She went to the play. She got dressed up and went to the theater. And one day, when I was like 10 years old, she asked me if I wanted to accompany her. Now, this is the thing. I actually did know a little bit about theater. Like, I had been introduced to it, but in the churches. So we didn't really have their I guess, like, if you're going to put money into it, it was going to go into the church production. And man, those evangelicals, and especially the ones that, built fancy houses and had a lot of toys to play with, they had some money to spend on their plays and musicals and stuff. And so then they did some really good production. So I had seen theater, right? But it was very limited, and it was very limited to topic, right? I mean, a lot of repetitive storylines. So for me to go to the theater, right? And we had to get dressed up. I didn't grow up in a world where we got dressed up. So you had to get dressed up. And I didn't really know what that meant either, because no one taught me how to dress up. No one taught me, like, what that meant, or, to do your hair, or, like, any of those things. And I know I was only, like, 10, so, like, but as a 10-year-old, like, you're like, what do I do? And she was just so cool. She helped me to feel dressed up. She put all those fake earrings, right? Do you remember those fake earrings that little old ladies always had? Those costume jewelry. She put those on me. And we went to the theater. And we went to see Brighton Beach Memoirs. Brighton Beach Memoirs. What an introduction to so many themes and topics in that. And when the lights went out and it started, oh wow! It was a world of make-believe that was okay and sanctioned, and it didn't have. It wasn't about, like, God and good and evil and, like, your future of burning in hell, right? It was funny, and it was sad, and it was poignant, and thus began a lifelong love of the theater. And, like, I'm a nerd. I go to, if I'm any, I'm not that particular either. I'm just such a curious person that and my friends are so kind, so kind. I'm laughing because 2 weeks ago I I found this magic show at a theater, right? What is this? And I think I told you about it. And I dragged my friend Alana. Alana and my friend Annalise are the two that I will call, and I will say, blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, I've got my shoes on. When I'll be there. It's great. It's just great. Yeah. Well, it was really nice to close out the week like this. It's nice to have my house back. I, I'm just laughing because I swear I'm like a child. And I don't know if you do this too, right? You have your in-laws or guests that you may love, but the minute they hit the door, oh man, I crank the music, I strip my clothes off. It's just celebrating having my house back. It's hard to when you're navigating something like this, like impending death, when you have someone in the house also, you know. My mother-in-law is she chose her character in life very early. She chose the old Eastern European babushka. You know, she has, even though she's lived in Canada for 60 years, she's got a really thick accent because it goes with the character, you know. But unfortunately, that character is you know, the sky is falling. We all know those characters, right? And it's a choice, and it's just a heavy space to live in, and I get it. I grew up around a lot of that, and people that chose to the I don't know, and you feel like you're like being a martyr for living life, you know. And so and when you are trying to shed rainbows because you're freaking out because you have cancer growing in your head, and your body's doing things that you don't understand, and also this week my mind was doing some things that I didn't understand, and to have someone in your space is heavy, is hard, but then when that person like is you know, they're cosplaying the sky is falling, and that's cool, man. Everyone's got their choice in life. Thankfully, in this particular case, though, my mother-in-law and I, we have been, we are good friends after 25 years, and I could share with her that, like, I need you to take off the cloak of the babushka, and please stop talking about how hard life is as an old person, because I'm really jealous and it's making me sad. I'm happy that I live in a world where I can have those conversations too, and not just sit in that. This week was particularly a little difficult because there's nothing medical that I need to share. Hopefully, you're really not going to hear anything medical from me, but unless it's I couldn't get chemo this week because platelets until February. Probably I'm not gonna know if this thing is if we got a hold of it again until February. So from then till now, or now till then, I'm trying to a lot of arts and crafts this week. Made some sculptures, right? A little guy here. Oh, I don't know. What am I doing? I kind of am partial to this guy. Hey. Anyways, some sculpting, some coloring, some things, trying to keep the mind moving forward. And the reason I pause on this is that this week this was the struggle. So I made an appointment with an oral surgeon this week to look at my mouth, because you know, right? After 5 years of chemo, unfortunately, my jawbone is collapsing in and on itself. And as you know, I had surgery like a month ago, where they feel that they fixed it, and and it's been healing. So, there's a lot of bone pain from it, but also I've got cancer growing in the bone in my head, so it's both. So this is the thing. I made an appointment to go to the oral surgeon because I thought that the bone, the jaw had collapsed a little bit more, and that there was bone shards sticking out of my gums again. So this did happen. I did wake up and this did happen. And then it was a week before they could, or a week and a half before they could fix it, that I had to live like that. It was just really intense. But they did fix it. I don't know how to repeat that. So I went to the oral surgeon, and because I thought it was bone sticking out, and like, not that I thought like, ooh, there was bone sticking out, right? Like I could feel it. It was real. And so I made an appointment, and I went to the doctor, and oh snap, it wasn't real. Nothing wrong. So, doctor's very kind. That doctor and his nurse are very kind. And I was like, oh, it's okay, doc. It's okay that you're struggling with telling me that I'm crazy because there's nothing there. You can't find it. You can't feel it. You can't x-ray for it. It doesn't exist. Because it was all in my mind. Oh, snap. So yeah, that happened this week. I'm manufacturing things in my mind. So kind of, I was like, it's okay, doc. Thank you for telling me I'm crazy. I'm really sorry. And he was so kind. He said to me, which is, well, this one's gonna make me cry because it was just a nice human. And his nurse, his nurse's dad died of cancer recently, so she's extraordinarily kind to me. But both of them said, it's okay. We got you. When it happens again, you just come back. When she was walking out, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to waste your time. Busy oral surgeon. And she said, if you feel you need to come back, I'll squeeze you in. You go do what you need to do now. How kind is that, right? Wow. Because they know that I'm getting mapped for brain radiation, or skull radiation, whatever we want to call it this week. Not the radiation, just the mapping. Because they had to sign off on it too. because it's a delicate walk that we're walking. Can she radiate the cancer in her skull, or will it make her jaw drop off? Oh. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah. I think the other thing mentally this week, which has been really hard, is so I'm cleared for chemo, by the way. Cleared for chemo. I get to go to chemo tomorrow. Yay. That's, what I want. It's what's needed. It's what's gonna get me into the spring. But as I tell you that, I do need to confess, all week I really was hoping. It's so much easier when they tell you can't, right? It's like, it's not my decision. I really was hoping for a well, your platelets didn't work. Fuck. Do you hear that? I wished for that. Okay. The reason I pause here is in 5 years, I have never allowed myself to really fantasize about like, no, it'll be, what can I do? What can I do? Because you can't let your mind in anything in life, if you know like that path right there is just not valid, like I can't walk down that path no matter how bad I want to, no matter how inviting it looks, that path is not one I can walk down. Well, I feel the same way about trying to motivate yourself to stay alive with this fucking disease, right? Like, it is not a life without chemo for me. My choice is for the life I want, which is to be here. I need my chemo to so I can't walk down the road of no chemo, and I should never open that door or allow myself to think that. And that's my struggle with this week. That's starting to happen. Whoa. Thankfully, I have a table full of new letter writing supplies and crafting supplies and some other things to keep my mind busy. Also, my wife has very generously decided to go on sabbatical. That's a whole other thing that we'll talk about because it crushes me to see her entire life disappear. But she has the opportunity to be able to go on sabbatical from work. And she needs to because she's so broken. She's so broken. So we're gonna concentrate on shooting rainbows, and doing tons of little micro adventures, and keeping ourselves moving forward. That's the goal. More dancing with the Grinch. Wow. Thanks for hanging out late with me on a Sunday. I couldn't do this year without you. I couldn't do every day without you being here to help me out. So, Happy New Year. I don't know what your plans are for tonight. I know that being in my 50s, cancer has not changed what I would be doing tonight. That is hanging out with my wife, having some tea, watching a few New Year's Eve events around the world, and calling it a day. We have for years done dinner with friends on New Year's Day, and that is going to continue to be our tradition. We did it, friends. We did it. Closing out another year. Thanks for hanging out with me.